major incidents from the Indian state of Kerala, where Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's convoy met with an accident in a bid to save a two-wheeler driver in the state capital. On the other hand, over 150 people injured in a fireworks accident during a temple festival in Kerala's Kasaragod. The incident related to the Chief Minister's convoy took place in Vamanapuram in Thiruvananthapuram when Chief Minister was returning from Kottayam. Several escort vehicles collided with one another when the pilot car in the convoy abruptly stopped to avoid hitting a woman on a scooter who attempted a sudden right turn. The Chief Minister's vehicle had minor damage, but he was not injured in the accident. In another incident, as many as 154 were injured after crackers stored at a temple in Nileswaram in Kasaragod exploded. The incident took place during a fireworks display. District authorities said crackers were stored without permission and safety norms were not followed during this festival. According to reports, the temple authorities were taken into police custody as well. So these are two separate incidents that are coming in from the state of Kerala. For more on this, our principal correspondent Siddharth MP joins us on the phone line from Chennai. Siddharth, thank you so much for joining us. Two shocking incidents coming in from Kerala. What can you tell us, Siddharth?
Yeah, certainly to talk about the first one, there are also videos doing the rounds. In fact, the CCTV footage of the Kerala Chief Minister's convoy and the mishap that took place on the road. So one thing you have to keep in mind is that generally Kerala, irrespective of whichever big city or capital it is known for a place where the infrastructure is such that there's only two lanes, one onward lane, one lane to return. So that's how typically all roads in Kerala are. Despite this happening in Thiruvananthapuram city, this was a place where it is only a two-lane road. So as is common in India, what happens is that the VVIP convoys believe that they have the right of way. So actually there was one, as per the video it says, there was one lady who was trying to take a right turn at the right spot. But then it so happened that the convoy was traveling on the wrong side and they were in a hurry and they were overtaking all the other vehicles. And a couple of vehicles in the convoy can be seen on the wrong side of the road. So that was pretty risky a maneuver at that time. And that's exactly when the convoy vehicle spotted this woman, on a two-wheeler who was attempting to take a right turn there. So in order to save, in order to not cause any further damage there, they had to slam the brakes. And of course, the way the convoy traveled and the speed at which they traveled, it was too late before all of these vehicles could slam their brakes in sync to be able to maintain a distance. So all these convoy vehicles typically have minimal distance between them. So by the time one slammed the brakes, the others also did. But then there was too less of a time for all of them to avoid a collision between themselves. So that's what took place there. The video clearly indicates that the convoy was on the wrong side of the road. In fact, they were crossing over beyond the divider, marked divider line, and they were crossing over into the wrong side of the road. That was visible, but this is typically how VVIP convoys move. They sometimes cross over to the other side of the road to avoid traffic. So this is one kind of a mishap that took place there. But at least their intention was that the lady, the public on the road would not have to, bear the brunt of this accident. So they were actually doing so to save the person on the road.
All right, yeah, right. Absolutely, Siddharth. You can see the video on our screens right now as well. You're saying that the convoy was on the wrong side of the road. We can see that. Let's talk about the other incident that's related to the fireworks accident that happened in Kerala's Kasaragod. What can you tell us about that, Siddharth?
So typically what happens is at the end of the year, there is what is known as a Kottayam ritual in some of these temples in the northern part of Kerala. This is more like a folk dance ritual that takes place, and most of these take place late in the night. So this incident too was happening somewhere in the wee hours. It was between midnight and 1 a.m. when this incident took place. In fact, we're given to understand it was around 1 a.m. that this took place. So typically when such events take place in a village or in a temple festival, there are at least a few hundred or thousand people that gather there to watch it, because all these festivities are part and parcel of the culture there. So people gathered there to watch, and this Kottayam festivity is also one which involves fire, because with most temple rituals there is fire, and this is also a folk dance where fire is involved. So there are flame torches that the performers carry, and they go around and dance and perform their activities using that fire torch. So it's at that point in time, or sometimes it's at a time when some small crackers were burst at one place, that the flames and the sparks actually spread to the place where the firecrackers were stored. Clearly, this was a sort of negligence and lack of taking adequate precautionary measures, because by all means, it's not safe to burst crackers at a location where very close to where the firecrackers are being stored. But in this case, what we're given to understand is that fortunately these were just firecrackers in very small quantities, comparable to what people would buy at homes or something like that. It was not a so to speak commercial quantity or a massive quantity, and we're given to understand that these were specifically Chinese firecrackers, the types that are low intensity, but of course give away a lot of light in color. So that's one of the reasons why, there's been not a significant amount of damage. Of course, the roof of the structure was blown off. But what we're given to understand is that this actually did not turn into a much more massive, mishap purely because of the fact that these were low-intensity crackers. Yes, 150 plus were injured because people are tightly packed in such a scenario. Most people stand there tightly packed and, it's a place chock-a-block with people. So that's natural that, so many people would be impacted, small burns or sparks or something like that falling onto them. And, of course, there'll be a melee in the crowd because people are trying to move to safety. So that's what took place. But, of course, we are also given to understand that those who are relatively close to where this, explosion took place, 8 of them at least are learned to be critical in various hospitals around Kasaragod and Kannur districts and so on. So we'll have to, wait to understand whether, their health condition is improving and, how it progresses.
All right. Well, Siddharth, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on both these incidents. We'll, of course, continue to track all developments closely on these two fronts. Thank you so much.